Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening for some, good morning for some. It is very nice to be here with such an expert audience. So I'm going to talk.
We cannot hear you. You've gone on mute.
That would help again. So I'm here today because a year ago you heard Emma Subirats, the AGROVOC manager, talk about AGROVOC implementing multi-scheme, multi-hierarchy management. And we're here a year later to talk about what actually happened. I'd also like to say hello to our colleague Andrea, who is here. So AGROVOC, for those who do not know, it is a thesaurus. It's a controlled vocabulary, and it covers the areas of work of FAO. So food, nutrition, agriculture, fisheries, forestry, food security. It's coordinated by FAO and published by us, but we have a regional network of people working on the content. And it is a very popular thesaurus to index and tag information resources, not just on books and literatures, which is what it started out as, but also very much for data sets and information. So here you can see examples of it being used on the FAO website and also in the CGR-CG space. So for the more technical audience, it's a SCOS concept scheme, and it's also linked to open data set. We have about 37,000 concepts and 750,000 terms, and that is in up to 38 languages. And it is, again, as we spoke earlier, we talked about interoperability. AGROVOC is aligned to other multilingual and monolingual knowledge organization systems. Here is a graphic of some of them, and it's nice to hear some partners here today. So here is an example. Now this is only possible because we have the network of editors, and editors might be from a national institution translating a language. They may also be from a network or institution focusing on a topic like drylands, ecosystems, or fisheries, or land governance indeed. So this is why it is possible to have this multilinguality, which is one of the things that makes AGROVOC unique. And with this, that means that I can search for information on sunflower seed in Polish, and I can find an article in French or Czech or Ukrainian. So it is really important that we have this aspect because a lot of research is not always translated to English, and it is not always discoverable and accessible. So AGROVOC is one of the tools that makes it more discoverable to researchers. And here is a nice map of our partners around the world. The very newest one, which you can see in red at the bottom, is the Belarus Agricultural Library. They just said they would join last week. So then they will have Belarusian coming in as a new language, which is very exciting. And all this is voluntary work. That's important to say. The institutions and partners are doing this to make the research at their national level more visible and accessible. And we really appreciate their efforts. We could not do it without them. So what is new? This is the new part. So we now have the option of having specialized concept schemes within AGROVOC. A year ago we talked about it, now we're actually doing it. That means that we can incorporate other controlled vocabularies. They can be part of AGROVOC, but also be managed separately. And we have the first ones coming in, and we wanted to have a special shout out to the LandVoc, the Land Portal Foundation. They just went live with their new foundation, the new hierarchy, 2 weeks ago, I think, which is big news. So the important part of this is that this means that we can welcome in other expert communities. They have the expertise, they have the controlled vocabularies, they have the up-to-date knowledge on the topic, but they may not always have the infrastructure to manage it. This way we bring in the specialized concept schemes. They're part of AGROVOC, but also they also have their own identity and can be exported and managed within AGROVOC. And they also have URIs, which means they can be linked across systems, including things like AgriPortal. So the question was, how does this actually happen? I'll have some more graphics in a minute. So basically, that we set up a scheme. VocBench is the system that we use to manage AGROVOC. Other thesauri like EuroVoc also use it. It's managed by the University of Tor Vergata in Italy. So we create a scheme, and then they have a new hierarchy just for that scheme. And then you set up links between them. But that means because that's a problem. Many people say AGROVOC is so huge, it's complex, it has a really strange hierarchy, they don't like it. This is the nice thing. You can look at a very small subset. You can create your own custom vocabulary with your own custom hierarchy. So, but it's all living at the same time. So here is what it looks like in reality. You can see the red ring. Here I'm adding something to a scheme. In this case, I'm taking value chains, which will also be important to fisheries. And I'm adding it to ASFA, which is the Aquatic Sciences and Fisheries Abstracts scheme. I say, fine, I would like to add this to them. This is a hypothetical example. You can see now that ASFA has showed up as green, just to the left of the arrow. And then it's now that's the value schemes lives both in AGROVOC, because they all live in AGROVOC, but it also lives in the subscheme of ASFA. But then I don't know where, and it should sit in ASFA in the hierarchy. So I have to go down and select the property ASFA broader, which is the custom one just for the scheme. I select that. And in this case, AGROVOC has value chains sitting under production economics, but that is not a concept that exists in ASFA. So here, the ASFA broader is economics. Same scheme, same structure, same hierarchy, same URI. And if someone adds a translation, both schemes benefit from it. But they have differentiated visibility. Here's another nice example where I have land management, another important concept. And that one actually lives in 3 different schemes. It lives in AGROVOC, but it also lives in the Aquatic and Sciences and Fisheries Abstracts one, and also lives in LandVoc. And you can also see here, they have slightly different hierarchies in the 2 concepts. But again, we're benefiting from each other. We're benefiting from shared definitions, shared translations, and shared infrastructure. And it's important to know, because people come and say, well, what do we need to do this? It's really important to know that you're not looking at your data anymore in isolation, but you're part of a bigger ecosystem. So if you changed value chains or added a new definition, it doesn't apply only to your scheme, it applies to all other schemes. But that also means that if someone adds more translations or definitions or scope notes, everyone benefits from it. So when you have the AGROVOC release, for example, you only see the AGROVOC data separately, but the other one can be extracted if needed. Exactly. So this is for the technical people who would like to know about this. This is how it works. They would download, if I wanted to only pull out the fisheries concepts, I would pull out everything in the ASFA scheme. I would look for, take out the AGROVOC SCOS broader and then use the ASFA broader. And then you have a custom mini scheme of AGROVOC in your specific topic available. So that is something we're quite interested in exploring more of, because we don't have the resources to cover every single topic in depth, but we know there are specialized communities out there who do. And we really want to bring in that expertise and knowledge to AGROVOC. And this is what it looks like. For example, you have public health sitting in 3 different schemes. This is in the fisheries one, FOWLEX, which is a new scheme coming in, and an AGROVOC. It is the same concept, same labels, same definitions, but it sits in 3 different places. And that is the end of my presentation. Very summary here. So if you have any questions about this, I know this went quite quickly, but please talk to us. You can reach us at agrovoc@fow.org. We're also doing a webinar next week for the CGIAR. We can put that in the chat if anyone is interested. And yeah, happy to take questions.